decay and deep discarded era with a beast play. They say and pray the outsiders stay away, but I think not. It's 2:48 and I'm still looking for the perfect grave plot. Wind blown and I can hear the spirits talk. Deeper and deeper we walk and she get heavy. Only 5 miles in and I can't give up already. The mumbling in my ears sounds so clear, saying we been spotted and getting near. I got a plan for this trick and I can't dump her here. Another 3 miles in and I'm freezing.
Yo, what up, fam? It's your boy Mikey Fresh here at the Mikey Fresh podcast, the real Mikey Fresh podcast. And we're here today with Freight Train McConnell. He's a horrorcore, hardcore rapper from Tacoma, originally from Tacoma, and now in Minneapolis, Minnesota. What's up, Joe? What's up, Freight Train? I almost called you by your government name.
What's up, Mikey?
Yeah. That's all good.
A Mikey Fresh podcast, banging out your stereo. Let's go.
Let's go.
What you got? It's going to be a good time. You know,
let's have a good time, man. I appreciate you coming on. And we've been trying to get together for a little bit now since I started the podcast. I've been trying to get you on. You're pretty well known actually throughout the country, really. For an underground artist and the genre of music that you do. So you just dropped a new album at like the beginning of this year, Edge of Death.
You did.
Yeah, tell me how that one came about.
So Edge of Death was a point in my life where I was really in between, going through a lot of depression, going through a lot of issues personally within my life. So it was one of those. I was dealing with a lot of health issues that kind of came about it. So Edge of Death is actually a first in a 3-part series. So right now I'm working on the next album, Casket Sharp. And for those that don't know, Casket Sharp is a term throughout the African American community where my outfit is so clean, so fresh that I could be buried in it. Like I could die today. I could walk out the house today and die, and that's all I'm ever gonna need. So that I'm trying to stick within that same kind of like feel for that series.
Okay.
That's really so on that one, I touch bases on a lot of different topics. It's not so in depth. Doggy Dog's got Toxic Leaf. Hitman produced a good majority of those albums or those songs, and Big T and him had a lot of influence on the production of that project. Several of the songs that we recorded was actually done in the I call it the Diamond Mine studio.
The Diamond Mine?
Yeah. We dug deep in the Diamond Mine to get these jewels out.
Yeah.
But it was Hitman recorded a good majority of the vocals for that, mixed and mastered a good majority of it. Some of it was recorded when I was in down in Georgia. A couple of them was recorded while I was working in Montana and Idaho as well. And then I did a track called Born Sick, and that's with a group down in Reno in California called Cerberus Click. So they got like 8 members. So I had gotten a couple of those guys were on there. Horrorcore OG, I recorded that down in Atlanta, Georgia. And that one's just homage to horrorcore. I love horrorcore.
Mm-hmm.
I was introduced that to at a young age when I was very angry at the world, didn't know how to express it in a positive way. And here you got these guys screaming on the mic, talking about everything I was thinking about at the time.
Yeah.
So you got that, and that one features, Playboy the Beast, and he's made a transition into Christian rap and turned his whole life around and his whole belief system. He's going by the Crusader now, but he's been around forever. He's been making music in every type of hip hop that you can imagine. Concrete from Washington, solid dude. He's been around for forever as well. So he was only natural because when I first started in the Seattle scene, he was one of the consistencies in it, and he's turned his life around too, gotten sober and did the whole thing, but he's still to this day holding true to the horrorcore aspect. He's been affiliated with almost every major horrorcore label across the country at some point, regardless if it's through songs or tours or everything else. There's a sequel that's supposed to come out. We also had Comatose, which is an iconic horrorcore rapper, and he's from uh, Nebraska, I think.
Oh wow.
So he's
Middle of
been
the
doing
country.
it. Yeah, he's been doing it very, very long time. He's got a whole like Pumpkin King, Children of the Corn kind of aesthetic to him.
Cool.
So, but when you talk about like horrorcore and what it means and who's the big body, who embodies that the most, that would be Concrete, Comatose. So those were naturals. There was supposed to be a sequel that we were working on, and we haven't quite got that to where it needs to be yet. But that one we were talking about getting Kung Fu Vampire, Insane Poetry. My boy Des Luca up in Seattle,
Mm-hmm.
and just really paying homage to like the people that really like hammered it in.
Yeah.
Gangsta Nip was another option, but he's off in the world doing strange things. So leave him be.
He's doing Gangsta Nip things.
Mars was another consideration.
Okay. Yeah.
Gangsta Nip things for sure. Mars was another consideration. I toured with him in 2018.
Mars.
And again,
Mars
he's
was
off
on.
doing
He
Mars
was on
things.
Psychopathic for a minute, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That's dope.
No, he got his really big break when he filled in for a Psychopathic artist on their shock therapy tour.
Uh-huh.
But he was very like in the know and involved in a lot of the stuff going on. So Mars was one of my first influences and introductions into the horrorcore thing. So when I first got to tour with him in 2018, it was cool. It was one of those coming homes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those things. You know what I mean? So, but I've toured across the country multiple times.
Yeah.
I got my cousin in the Ukraine, and we go back and forth on tracks here and there. So it's all coming together. I worked with a lot of people, and I had acquired a lot of features for a lot of people, and those particular artists had moved on with their careers or stopped making music altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's one of those things. I have all these features. I met all these big names. And so I'm just making music myself. I've been doing music since I was, 16 years old, and was blessed enough to take it across the country, take it across the world, see the sights and do the whole thing, So it's just one of those things.
Yeah, if you look on your OHD Presents bio, it talks about your touring and you've been on tour with like Cottonmouth Kings and Insane Clown Posse and Twisted. It goes on. I mean, there's a huge list that you opened up for. Did shows?
Yeah, I opened up
for
those guys. A good majority of the tours that we did was either with smaller name people or we funded it ourselves, headlined it. Jamrock, I met Jamrock on the Alumni Soldiers tour, and he just got Diamond Sharp Records.
Yeah.
That's how I met him first.
Yeah.
The Broke Scholar was another one. We did the Doom Rap tour, which was followed by the Father of Doom Rap tour. So we did the Doom Rap tour, and I met him coming from Saskatchewan, Canada.
Yeah.
And he held true to his name because he showed up with no money. A good attitude, but no money. So the Broke Scholar really made it happen. He's true to himself.
Yeah,
so,
he's a cool dude. And Broke Scholar, his new EP or mixtape, I guess, Thorns. It's out right now. It's on SoundCloud. Y'all check that one out. Yeah, part of Diamond Sharp Records now. Yeah, he's a good guy. I've worked with him a bit.
Yeah. He's always been solid to me and respectful.
Yeah, Jamrock, he's cool. I've met him a couple times. He's with us now. I wish we were all closer together. That's like my only thing. I'm like, man, we could do so much more if everybody was closer, because we're scattered all over the place.
I feel like if you got everybody on the same page, and everybody promoting the same thing all at once.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of the old school, like feet to concrete, flyer to hand type thing. You got to get up, you got to meet the people.
Yeah.
I also learned from, you know, a lot of old school hustlers where you would do the fucking shit, the mixtapes out the trunk. Like you got it, you had to go meet the people, you had to be involved. But I didn't know nothing when I came out. I also, when I first came out, I'd pay a producer for a CD with my set list on it, $50 because I was a kid. I
Right.
didn't know anything. It was my $50 for my CD. And if they changed the set list, I had to go back to it because we couldn't afford any of our own equipment.
Right.
So those things. But I started doing shows at 16, 17 years old. So I had met a good majority of like the people that were involved in the bigger shows at a young age. And because I was young, they treated me like shit.
Yeah.
Treated me like shit. They would book me for shows at bars and then kick me out, take the ticket money and kick me out of shows.
Right.
They would let me perform, but they were assholes about it. So it's just one of those things. Like I met a lot of the big players in Washington that has the money that to this day still put a good majority of into it. You know, one of the most humble, one of the coolest dudes that I've met, Levi Lyon. He's a solid dude too. You know, but he's dealing with a lot of stuff with, you know, Hemfest and everything else, trying to get that back going. So
yeah, I know you like you represent some people too a little bit. I know you were helping Diamond Sharp Records and trying to get them on show, Toxic Leaf and everybody on shows and stuff like that. And then there's like Scam Likely is another one.
Yep. Did artist management for a long time. There was a handful of labels that I used to work with.
Yeah.
At one point, I managed 18 artists throughout the Northwest, and I would get them booked. We'd go over merchandise ideas, and it was just things that I would see the bigger dudes doing and try to emulate that in a more affordable budget. So yeah, Scam Likely, formerly known as Motormouth Jones, I managed him for a long time. Toxic Leaf, you know, and then I would have small stints with different artists. But I've had artists that went on to do stuff with Strange Music. I've had artists that have gone on to do stuff with Brain Sick and, you know, Brother Lynch Hung. That was a big one. You know, I got tracks with a good majority of his camp as well. Brother Lynch Hung is one of the most humble people I've ever met. I met him through his wife because I had an artist that got signed and he made it his whole big career goal to give. So when he was a kid, he stole one of Brother Lynch's CDs, and then he had like that remorseful fucking, I shouldn't be doing this, but he really liked his music, so he stole his CDs.
Yeah.
And he went through the remorse process, you know, as a kid trying to figure out what's right and wrong. So he tried going back to the CD store he bought the CD from, and they closed. So he said, "Okay, let me contact."
Probably because he stole that CD.
Yeah, they went out of business. That's why. So that's why you don't see any record stores anymore, because kids like that like to steal CDs and just out of business.
Yeah.
Your $15 is what was the difference between bankruptcy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how the music industry works.
Now you got to get everything offline. And when I would manage people, when I would like meet people, and I thought, you know, coming into it, people would support me the same way I supported them. So I would buy everybody's merchandise, buy everybody's CDs, and a good majority of them didn't return the favor. But I had a wall. I had a wall at my house that I would just pin everybody's CDs to, and it was cool. Case and all, thumbtacks. My landlord hated me. And he had to fill the fucking wall.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get my deposit back.
Like, what the fuck?
So we did that, and like I would have people. Yeah. So I had that, and I would meet artists, and I was like, "Let me get your CD." He's like, "I don't got a CD. I have MP3s I can send you." I was like, "I can't put an MP3 on the wall."
Yeah.
But that shows like my mentality at the time. Like I really was behind on the fucking times and where everything was at, because I was learning from old school people. The same thing. I thought Facebook was stupid. I was going to be MySpace till the death.
Yeah, right.
You know, MySpace died out, and I kind of went with it. I forgot about that promise to myself. That's why in my songs, Use Your Love, I've said I'm hella busy, hard to find. Hit me on that MySpace.
Yeah. I remember that line was cool.
Yeah, so we did that. But anyway, so the dude's name was X. And he got his name from the old school arcade games where you would only get the 3 letters. So he's going by the Jinx at the time, and then he changed it because of that. And then it was DA, and then X. And when he was like 15 years old, he stole a Brother Lynch CD. Felt bad about it. Went to try to return it. And the record store was closed down. So he tried contacting Black Market, and by the time he contacted Black Market, Brother Lin Chung had left Black Market. So he's like, fuck them. I'm not going to give him no money. So he made it his whole like life goal to meet Brother Lynch and give him his $15.
Wow.
So when I had met his wife, this dude always told me that if we ever get an opportunity to open for Brother Lin Chung, to put him on the bill and have his name on the flyer. That's all he ever wanted.
Right.
So he had that memento to put on his fucking wall.
Yeah.
And at that show, I met his wife, and super, super cool lady. And I had told her his story, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's amazing! I got to meet this guy." And he had reiterated the same story to her. And he's like, "Who needs to hear that? My husband. Nobody tells him that enough." So they were charging for meet and greets at that time, and we just through that interaction was able to like skip that line and get to where it was at past security. We met him out by the van, did the whole thing. So he had given his CD to Brother Lin Chung, gave Brother Lin Chung the $15 he had stolen from him.
Yeah, that's cool.
Some odd years ago.
Yeah.
And Brother Lin Chung was super humble about it, super like, this is awesome. I got something to listen on the ride home. And then so we're in the car on the way home from the show, and dude was like, awesome, now I don't have to be a rapper. I was like, I thought he was joking.
Right.
I thought he was joking. He just disappeared after
Mission
a while.
accomplished.
Yeah, my life goal as a rapper, I don't have to do this shit no more.
Yeah.
But he went through a lot. He went through a lot in his career. Like he was on a label for 10 years, and all they did was record music. They didn't put anything out, and it was just one of those goals. So prior to meeting me, he was just doing music at the studio for 10 years. And then as soon as he met me, we started getting the ball rolling and getting on the shows and doing the whole thing. Like, this is a reality. This is what we're doing.
Right.
We were doing shows once a week. And that's oversaturation in the market. I can go see Freight Train McConnell any week. Why do I have to buy this ticket? So yeah, he ended up disappearing after a while. Because he accomplished his goal. I have a tendency of trying to push people to do shit that they don't want to do, but they also don't communicate with me like their limitations.
Yeah.
If you're not up here, don't tell me that you're up here when you're down here. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, it's people are people. I guess we do things, and either we especially with music, either you take it and that's just what you want to do, or some people use it as a stepping stone to maybe an acting career, or whatever. Yeah, nothing wrong with that for sure. Who knows? Hopefully wherever he's happy and having a good time in life.
I'm hoping. You know what I mean? He disappeared, but he also disappeared off social media, so I have no idea what actually took place.
He probably is having a good time and happy in life then.
Yeah, he's off social media.
Yeah,
we took a train before I moved out to the Midwest. We took a train ride down to Portland, did a show down there, and then we rode those electric scooters around Portland playing Pokemon Go. And
nice.
Then I got off the train in Tacoma. I was like, okay, man, I'll see you later. He said, yep, good luck. And then I just never saw him again.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about, go ahead.
No, I am,
no, I was just saying you were talking about, going along or, keeping up with the times and stuff, and like, MySpace and, Facebook, now, it's Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. And, I feel the same way with like AI technology, right? Like, not using it, to just to cheat and just have it make a song for you, right? But like using it as a tool, especially as a producer, to enhance the music or use it, have some background vocals that are AI, because not everybody can go out and hire a friggin' church choir, right? Or assemble whoever together for background singers or
I think
certain
I
things
think
like that.
AI is I think AI is a wonderful tool. I
Hmm.
think it's been around for a long time and it's been perfected to this point. So
Yeah.
we're at the point where it's able to mainline the creative process with the whole thing, and that's where people are getting it. I got an invitation to a an album release party not too long ago that was completely AI generated. Like he made the
Hmm.
beats with AI, he wrote the lyrics with AI, he made all the merch designs with AI, and he made the vocals with AI and had it all mixed together with AI, which is awesome. It gives a voice to people that aren't creative. It gives a voice to people that don't know how to develop or don't have the tools to make that happen.
Yeah.
Whether it be a basic recording setup, but I don't like my voice.
Right.
A basic recording setup costs like what, a couple $100, and not everybody has that.
Hmm.
So it mainlines the process to be able to create what you need. You know what I mean? But people get lazy.
Yeah.
People get lazy. I don't agree with using AI to write the songs. I don't agree with AI to create mainline the process. I don't believe that you should. I believe that you should pay a graphic artist to create your artwork. You're going to get better quality artwork through it, and it's going to be exactly what you're looking for instead of putting the prompt in, I don't know, 30 times to try to get one decent result.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree with that. I think most of the AI artwork, um, it all looks the same, and it's pretty basic. It's not nearly as good as what people come up with, like a graphic designer would come up with, for sure. No matter what the
um,
prompt is that you're putting in.
I think with AI, you can sit down and you can put in exactly what I want to sound like and
Mm.
do it. One of the most prolific rappers I've ever met. He's an amazing artist. I think so anyway. He gave me my first touring spot across the country. He took me on tour with him. Amazing dude. Um, but
Who
he
is it?
had made the transition to Christian rap, which he had, dabbled in for years. But he also is not a big fan of his own voice. Like he doesn't think he can sing.
Yeah.
So what he's doing now is he's creating gospel music with AI, which is awesome. Whatever you got to do to try to get that vision and that feeling out to the world. But like you're talented, and you're just taking the easy way out.
Hmm.
Like I had asked him not that long ago if he had fucking any new music I could check out, and he sent me that. I was like, "That's cool, but that's not you."
Right.
He said, "Well, I don't like my voice, so I'm doing this." But you're talented. You're talented. You've worked with so many people. Like he's got songs with King ISO. He's got songs with everybody, and he
Yeah.
just,
Just a
you lose
confidence issue,
motivation.
or it yeah, doesn't like the sound of his own voice, essentially,
Yeah,
too. And yeah, probably a lot. There's fear and failure, right? Too. Like I think maybe if I make my own music and it's me out there and I fail, I'm failing. But if I just make a bunch of AI music and put it out there and nobody listens, who cares?
exactly. It takes it out of it. But you got people that are making AI music and just getting thousands of views, thousands of
Oh yeah,
plays because it's exactly what people want to hear.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, Suno
So
is
opposed
making
to the
billions of dollars off of their
and that's
software,
that's the
you
crazy
know.
and that's the crazy part because all those softwares, we all those software charges. We had a girl come to the studio that used AI and she could sing,
Hmm.
and some people just aren't creative. They're given the talent in the world and they're just not creative. So using AI as an assistance to come up with an idea or a concept is cool.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So with her, what she did is she showed up to the studio ready to record. But she told Conclusion that she had to pay for the full rights to the song so that she could record it. She didn't have any audio with it, so she had to pay for the instrumental, and she had to pay for the vocals for it. So instead of paying for the vocals, she paid for studio time, which is what you should do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You can get song lyrics and everything out of the AI, but it's for me as an artist, it's a waste because you're not actually putting the effort toward it to actually make something amazing. Because that's how you develop your skill. You can sing. I sing all the time in my songs. Doesn't mean that they're good vocals. Doesn't mean that I'm good at singing. But one day, if I keep humming the hums and doing the do, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the past couple songs that I put out underneath Blue Clef Music and their direction and everything, because Chef, he's an amazing producer. You know, he's out of Riverside, California.
Yep.
He gets it going. He embodies West Coast hip hop. He loves the fuck out of it. Get the Chef, so GET, the Chef, cooking up bangers every time. He gives me his advice and kind of the route that we should go. And then when I do it with Conclusion, he coaches it. If you're having an issue with something, he'll coach you through it. And say, hey, we should try it this way instead of this way. And as long as you're open to that communication and everything else that goes with it, then we end up with amazing tracks, you know?
Yeah.
A good majority of the lyrics that I write are mine, you know, very small influences outside of that, you know, outside of you should say it like this instead of like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, those past couple songs that we put out were fucking pretty solid, you know, one of which you produced.
Yeah, Use Your Love. Yeah, that one was produced by me. That was with you in Conclusion. We had Conclusion on the podcast 2 weeks ago. That was a good interview. Yeah, Blue Clef Music. And yeah, he talked about Get the Chef, producer and stuff. Tell me about Use Your Love, man.
So Use Your Love, I can't sing. And Conclusion, he's an amazing singer. So we kind of went back and forth on that whole thing. He did the hook, laced it up for me. But it's all based off of that old, what the fuck? It's all based off of the old song.
Yeah. I don't want to lose your love tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to use your love tonight. And I just can't remember who sings The Outfielders.
That's who
the fuck I'm looking for. Awesome.
I was trying to remember too. I'm thinking, well, I'll look it up later and then I'll just put a text in when I edit the video.
Yeah, I thought about looking it up before. Yeah. I thought about looking it up before we jumped in this, and you know, I can scratch off, make myself look like a fool on the Mikey Fresh podcast.
That's all right.
Done today. We accomplished that goal. Anyway, so that song itself is about, you know, cheating on your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a catchy upbeat.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people don't realize that. So, but I just want to use your love tonight. So that was the big basis of it. And when I was talking to you about the production of the instrumental and everything, we had talked about trying to sample that hook.
Yeah.
And we're just going to get the beat correctly on it because we were up here and it was down there.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. But I had been dating a girl for, you know, a while, and I had thought about like what drunk dudes say to females at the bar to try to pull them. And just one of those things. It's built from experiences and what I've told broads, just the dumbest shit ever.
Oh yeah.
I'm short, so I tell fucking tall girls I wouldn't mind to climb, you know. But I also, you know, I try to do the same things that I do with big girls that I do with small girls, and you know, it's a workout in itself.
Yeah.
So that's how I got like this.
We're guys, dude. We're dumb.
Yeah. So
especially when it comes to talking with females.
Yep. Use Your Love is one of my favorite more recent songs, and that one is, you know, the first one is talking to, you know, my lady friend, and then throughout the whole process of me writing the song and recording it, me and her baby daddy had gotten into it, so he would call my phone and you know, call her phone and threatened to beat me up and did the whole thing. But
Oh,
when
yeah.
I met dude, all he did, and he's taller than me. He's fucking like 6'2",
Yeah.
you know. And when I met him, he would just stare at the ground and like not shake my hand, doing the whole thing. So I'm like, "You're a
So,
bitch.
what was
Cross the
that
fucking
Lethal
board."
Weapon where they're like, oh, what are you, a telephone tough guy?
Yeah, exactly. So we kind of left it like that, but that's what the whole second verse is about. So the first verse is about me talking to the female, and the second verse is talking to the baby daddy on the phone. I was like, listen here, bro. We're like a tag team, swanton bomb off the top rope, if you know what I mean. And it's that whole transition and interaction that inspired that whole thing.
Nice.
So, and I told her she's on the cover. She's on the cover. I told her about the song, and she thought it was amazing. And then just went in the second verse, and it was just she thought it was hilarious. So use
Yep.
your love as much of an asshole as I am, and as much as a delinquent and a ne'er-do-well
Yeah.
life I live. That's my closest attempt that I had at, like, I love you, bitch.
Right.
So
Assholes
here's
have
my
feelings too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Assholes need love too.
That's
So
right.
that's my closest attempt at like conveying, because I don't do that a lot. That was an issue with my son's mom, is that I never really learned how to convey my feelings
Yeah.
properly. I never had a decent role model to show me that. So through music, I express the anger, the whole spectrum of the emotions,
Yeah.
and love, honesty is something that I didn't really like practice. So that was my close attempt to try to be like, you mean something to me, but this is also the drama that you fucking bring into my life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where
Yeah.
Use Your Love came from,
I feel you
and
on
then
that. Like, especially with relationships and stuff. Like, I was with the same girl for, over 20 years, and we got a kid together and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm just kind of finding out now, right? Like, I wasn't able to really give her the emotional like support and love and that she probably deserved because of how I really felt about myself. So my the way I may have treated her was a big reflection of how I felt about myself on the inside too.
yeah,
So
and even that, like, throughout the years of the maturity and the whole thing, I had reached out to multiple people throughout my life and like apologized
yeah,
for being an asshole. I'm sorry I treated you like this. I didn't mean it. And
yeah,
the whole thing. And some of them were like, awesome. I
yep,
appreciate it. I didn't you didn't deserve how I treated you as well. But the same amount of people were like, fuck you.
yeah, and they have every
You're
right
full
to
of
do it,
shit.
to say it.
Yeah,
Yep,
and they do. So I
yep,
just left them be, but it's that emotional maturity of the realization, like, I treated you like shit. And you
yeah,
didn't deserve it. You were just trying, I was just a piece of shit at the time.
right,
Um, you know. So it's one of those. So that's where, the song Use Your Love comes from, is the same thing that every guy does to try to pull females, and you tell them the dumbest shit that you could think of to try
mm-hmm.
to do it. You don't know me. I can bench 300 pounds. I can lift your spirit, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, shit like that, just dumb shit. So
uh-huh,
that's where that whole thing comes from. And then later on, the second verse kind of came from real life experiences and what I was dealing with at the time of recording. Me in conclusion had sat down, and I said, same thing with you. This is the song that's inspiring this whole thing back then. Um, what can we do with it? And so we just kept that iconic. I just want to use your love
yeah,
tonight
yeah, it was
line
cool.
from it.
Yeah, it was cool. You called me with the idea. You had an idea of the beat in your head, and then you talked to
Yeah.
conclusion, and him and I were talking about it. How you had this idea how the hook was gonna go in your head, and you worked it out with him, and and we all just kind of made it all come together. From he's in White Center, you're in Minnesota, and I'm in the eastern east west of the Cascades in Washington and Concrete. And so it's cool how it all came together, and none of us even really saw each other or you know and we're still able to make
So
that happen.
it was an amazing experience, and that's why I like doing music with other people.
Mm-hmm.
A good majority of my catalog is like with a bunch of other people. I very seldom do like solo music, and that's kind of what I'm trying to focus on now, is let me actually do some songs by myself and see if I can't push it forward.
Yeah.
But when I first started making music, I was in several groups. Third Eye Click was one of them. That was very early, and then Homegrown Psychotherapy with my boy. He's going by Johnny Marauder right now. He's a big ass native dude from Tulalip.
Okay.
So being fresh out of high school, I would take the bus from Tacoma to Tulalip in the middle. I would get off work and I would just get on the bus at 5 a.m, take it there.
Yeah.
And I get to his house. I would sleep at his house like 3 or 4 hours, and then like we'd wake up, and like he'd wake me up with fucking weed. And like,
oh, yeah. Oh, dude, that sounds.
And then like I'd go right back. I'd hit it, go right back to sleep. So I was like half baked and shit.
Yeah.
So we would do that, and then we'd get up in the middle of the night. We'd go out in the trailer that was behind his house. And the trailer wasn't the best kept thing. You know what I mean? So we really had no business just kicking it up in there. But we'd sit up all night and make fucking make music. He's one of my favorite fucking people ever. I could wholeheartedly, at a point in my life where I didn't have anybody, his family welcomed me into their home. Me and his dad still have conversation, and he hits me up every once in a while, like, "I'm proud of you, son," type deal. So it's a good thing. We were in the trailer one time, and the police were raiding the fucking neighbor's house. I don't know if they were looking for somebody or whatever. They were outside with a bunch of flashlights. And we're in the trailer with all the lights on. I was yelling my shit, and I was like, "These pills," and he's like, "You need to calm down."
They're coming over here next.
Yeah. So it was cool. I had a lot of good experiences up until Layla. I had a lot of good experiences in Marysville and across the country with that dude. So I'm very happy that he's back doing music. He hit me up. He opened up for Cottonmouth Kings not too long ago. Johnny Marauder, super solid dude.
Nice.
So I'm very happy that he's getting back into doing the whole thing. He kind of put it on the back burner to get a career going and raise his daughter and do the right thing.
Yeah.
Me on the other hand, music's all I had. So we're gonna make something dope regardless, and I stayed consistently making money. I stayed consistently making music. So the only two things I ever been good at was hustling and fucking. So
yeah, man, it's a grind for sure. You got your new album, Casket Sharp, coming out. You briefly spoke on that one a little bit, and there's the single featuring Conclusion, Skyway Leftovers, and I gotta tell you, man. Well, you'd sent me the link to it and asked me to listen to it, and I told you, I was just like, "Holy shit, man, it was so funny." And I'm like, "This is the best thing I've heard you do so far," and I've heard a lot of your music, and Conclusion, and we talked about it on the podcast. I think it was on your Facebook. I looked it up this morning. It says it's coming out on the 10th.
Yep, it should be dropping on the 10th. Okay. I've been having issues with the distribution.
Right, yeah. So, we talked about it a little bit, being on the 6th, and I was like, I don't want to officially announce it because I knew you had distribution issues with the Use Your Love song. So, so is that an official announcement?
Yeah, as far as I know, it should be out on the 10th. I wouldn't be surprised if I look at the distribution; it's still pending, but it is what it is. Okay. I've been having issues with that distribution company for the past year or so, and I don't know if they're going through management issues or company overhauls or whatever it is. But I've been having issues with them for it. That they've been so solid to me in the past year, so it's one of those things I have a hard time like breaking that fucking shit. I want to believe that you're going to tell me do what you say you're going to do.
Right.
Shit. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one of those things. So Skyway Leftovers, yep, it is scheduled to come out on the 10th. So a couple days from now, it'll be out there to the world. So I think that one, I I had hit conclusion of it. It's such a grimy song.
It is
I had
very
hit him up. I was like,
grimy.
I told him we had to get a clean version. He's like, what do you want me to do? You want me to just censor the whole thing? I was like, no, I guess this one's not going to be on the radio.
It's just
so
an instrumental.
Yeah. Every once in a while, it's just my ad libs. Hey, let's go. So it's one of those things. But Skyway Leftovers, I think it's an amazing song. It's hilarious. Everybody sent it to in your opinion. You think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But that all comes from like real life situations. Like I've met a lot of females that take advantage of dudes. I've met a lot of females that don't do it, and then I've met a lot of females that lie about situations and the whole thing. So that stems from all that. I had been talking to a female and we were doing pretty decent, you know what I mean? And she had convinced me to quit my job, move in with her, move up to Seattle, do the whole thing. And then so I was like, okay, if this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. And we were on our way up there and we'd stopped at a weed store and she got weed and she had met some dude while she was in there and then came out to the car and was like, we can't do this no more.
Just like that.
And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, well, I quit my job. All my shit's in your car. Like, I'm going to live at your house. So, like we were there. And then throughout the whole process, like it took me like a month and a half to move out of this broad's house, like trying to figure it out. Was
she hooking up with this other dude the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Man.
She was trying to hide it. She was being shady. Anyway, so throughout this whole process, she would ask me, fucking, you're going to write me a song? You going to write a song about me? I was like, why would I do that? Because she said all the real rappers write songs about her. I was like, how many songs do you have?
Yeah. Yeah,
right. She's like, I got like 3 of them about me. I was like, oh, okay. So that's kind of the whole thing. But I've talked about that broad in a couple songs. I did a song with Concrete called 1-800-CALL-GOD. And I talked about, she was grimy before she met me. I didn't know anything about it. So she had we drove past the park and she had excited about it. Told me that that park is where she got walked butt ass naked on all fours, with a collar and a leash around her neck, like public humiliation shit.
Oh damn!
And the dude had shoved a gram of crystal meth in her ass. She had told me that, so I talked about that on the song with Concrete.
Sounds like good times.
Yeah, sometimes, but when you're on the other end of it, it's not. And I'm down for whatever, I'm not gonna kink shame or do whatever you're into. But she was real grimy, and she's not the only one. She's not the only one. Skyway Leftover stems from a lot of my interactions with females and watching it. But throughout my time living there, I watched her be like the grimiest, shittiest fucking person that you could. And then she was on Section 8, and I would watch her be all high and mighty and talk down to people like she was really balling, like she was a fucking a boss. But you ain't got no money. Got no money. You're smoking on borrowed weed.
Right.
You're not a boss, and you lie to these people, faking the funk. I don't know where she's at now, but she was the main influence for that song. You showed me in a month and a half who you really were and how grimy you were, and I was just stuck.
Right.
I wanted to be decent. I didn't want to blow up on her and lose my shit and then lose everything.
Yeah.
Because all my shit was packed up in boxes at her house. And I had to figure out how to get myself and my shit out of her.
Gotta move your shit and get situated before then you can let her know what's up.
I gotta get this money. And then the crazy part about the whole thing, I was like, I'm leaving. And this is why I'm leaving. And in the midst of that whole thing, I was like, my people are outside, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And I told her why. And she's like, it's fucked up you're trying to make me feel this way.
Oh yeah.
I said, it's fucked up I'm trying to make you feel this way. I said, it's fucked up you're making me feel this way. Fuck you mean?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things.
That's what people are good at, is pointing the finger at somebody else.
Yeah, we ended up having this big falling out, but that was her, that was her trying to fucking, save face into the whole thing. But
Right.
that song's not just like I said, and it's not about her.
Right.
Talk about some shit that my son's mom's done. I talked about what I've seen other grimy bitches do.
Yeah, you're talking
You
about
know.
lot lizards and all
Oh,
that good
that was conclusion. That
Oh,
was
okay.
all conclusion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We were
Yeah.
sitting there because I went to Washington and we recorded the hook. And we're sitting there and we're freeballing ideas. And he's like, "What's a lot lizard?" I was like, that's a bitch that sucks dick for money at the truck
Truck
stop.
stop.
So,
Yeah.
that's perfect. Like,
I'm surprised he didn't know.
so
Not that I think he would,
I don't think
be
he's paying for
entertaining
it.
the idea of a lot
I
lizard,
don't
but
think he does.
no.
I don't
Yeah.
think he
Nah.
does. But
He's a good Christian man.
yeah, he's got morals.
He's
He's
got
got
morals.
morals.
Yeah.
Freight train don't. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But no, that whole thing, that comes from it, and that's just my experience throughout my time on Earth dealing with people.
Mm.
As a young man, you put your all in. I like this broad. I want to see where this goes. And, after I've dealt with a lot of, my mom always told me that I have a broken picker.
Yeah.
And if I had a broken pecker, it would be better. So that meaning that I have shit taste in women, and if my dick didn't work, I would be just fine.
Yeah.
So my mom
There's
always told
probably
me
a
that
lot of
shit.
truth to that for all of us.
Yeah. So I had really poor judgment in
And you could
people.
probably flip the role too, if
You know,
with women
so
had
I had
better taste.
I had really poor judgment in people. I wanted to believe people who they say they were growing up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I even like to this day, as apprehensive as I am with people, and as standoffish as I am to trust people, I want to believe that everybody is as genuine as they present themselves.
Right.
But because of my experiences, I know good and well that they're not, and people have underlying intentions with the whole thing. So that's kind of the whole thing with it. It's wanting to believe that everybody is who they say they are, and knowing that not everybody is.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and
oh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, just especially in the music game, right? Like a lot of people look like they have good intentions, but there's a lot of people that'll just want to use you for whatever they can get out of you, and then spit you out, and move on to the next one.
Yeah. So
Uh,
that's kind of where the whole thing comes from, and Casket Sharp as a whole, is still, I have some health issues that I'm still working on, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things, but so the entirety of Casket Sharp is going to be like a self-reflection of like what I've done and who I've, what I've experienced.
mm-hmm.
So it's me talking about a lot of stuff that I normally wouldn't have, you know. Throughout my career, it's been hard for people to kind of categorize my music because it doesn't fit well in horror. I'm not horrorcore enough to be horrorcore, but I'm not gangster. I'm not hip hop enough to just be solid hip hop. But it's worked in my favor because I can go, and this happened. I can go open up for Calhoun and then open up
Mm-hmm.
for ICP the next
Right.
week, or in the same week. I can go open up for E40 and Ice Cube at the Showbox Soto in Seattle, and
Yeah.
then in the same week go open up for Twisted at El Corazon. And it's been one of those. I've had a lot of amazing opportunities in my career, and I've bred a lot of people that do not like me because of it. I took their opportunities, and it wasn't because I bought my way in. It wasn't because I did something shady to get there. It's because I generally worked hard to be where I was at, and they didn't understand why I was leapfrogging them. That was a
Mm-hmm.
good majority of the issues with it. So, and like I said, I thought people were going to have the same kind of love and mentality toward me that I had toward them coming into the situation. And over time, jealousy took over, and it's you talk to anybody, a good majority of them are going to say fuck Freight Train, but Freight Train never did nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
The only people that ever stand there and say fuck Freight Train is the ones that I either told no or I stood up for myself and not let them treat me like shit, but let somebody say fuck freight train in front of people that care about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Diamond Sharp being one of them, Definition Infinity being another one. You know, the League of Villains being a fucking whole nother one.
Yeah.
Um,
Met a
so
lot of
that's
dudes,
kind of
man,
a
that
big
know
thing.
you, and I haven't found anybody yet that was like fuck freight train. So
And
in fact,
you
most
won't,
of
and
them
you usually
BJG, you know, he's just like, oh yeah, freight train, he's my guy, you know. Just, yeah, him and I talked about you, and yeah,
yeah
conclusion, yeah, toxic leaf, diamond sharp, yeah, yeah, everybody so
yeah
far, scam likely, you know, another guy,
yeah.
you know, yeah.
Even as much of an asshole as I
I'll keep my.
am,
They
like
all say you're an
I
asshole.
for
That's a given.
yeah,
Yeah.
I expect it, you know, but I'm an asshole because I don't sugarcoat my shit. I shouldn't have to.
I feel you. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, but I'm a firm believer in treating people how you want to be treated. You know what I
Mm,
mean? But I'm also a firm believer that people are going to treat you the way you allow them to be treated.
yeah.
If I let you talk down to me every time that we interact, when I 2, 3, 4 weeks down the road, when I lose my shit, I'm the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the bad guy because I didn't establish my tolerance for this issue. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where it comes from.
Right.
You
Let's
know, but
set them
that's the whole thing.
boundaries.
I feel like I got a pretty solid. Yep, you got to set the boundaries. I feel like I have a pretty solid fan base. I feel like I've been blessed enough to go throughout life and meet a lot of interesting people, and that's because of music.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know half the people that I know if I didn't do music. And some of the most beautiful souls that I've ever met, some of the most genuine people make fucking music.
Yeah.
So I've had that opportunity. I'm blessed enough to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You never know who you're gonna run into in the music world. It's cool. It's a fun ride for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um. So yeah. So are you working just side by? Oh, before I ask this question, um, Casket Sharp, is that coming out on the 10th, the whole album, or just the song for now? When's the album coming
Just
out?
the song, just the song. We're still in the process of recording Cassette Sharp.
Okay.
It's one of those things I want to take my time and
Could be
really
next
like
year.
hammer it. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit there and record a bunch of songs and then feel remorseful about it. But I also believe that you shouldn't like wait forever to put something out. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like I met some amazing artists that can sit there and record an entire album and put it out in 3 days and it be
Yeah.
an amazing album. Big T did that with Last Ride.
Yeah.
It was solid from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna bring them up
but
because they put out music fast.
I'm biased though. I'm biased though because Big T from Toxic Leaf is my top 5 artists of all time. And
Nice.
that's not just because I like the dude. That's not just because I think he's solid as fuck.
Yeah.
He's in my top 5 for sure. Across the board. He's got the work ethic and he's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
And I've told them and I can sit down and I could put $5,000 on the table and say, if you can out rap Big T, then you can have his money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Big T's humble like that.
He
So that's my stance on that whole thing.
yeah, he's a
You
solid
know,
dude, man. He's been one of my best friends for shit, almost 25 years at least, you know. Well, shit, I think we met in like 98, you know, so a little over
yeah,
25 years and
yeah.
yeah,
So that's the whole thing with it.
yeah.
Like I can work like that. I can do that, but I want to make sure that I am saying something on these songs. I met a couple dudes that have a massive amount of catalog, massive amount.
Mhm.
But I call it the Kid Rock method because Kid Rock's out there and would put out an album every month until something happened. So I've met a handful of artists that do the same thing. They record and put the songs out, and then when they talk to me and wants a consultation about why their career's not going anywhere, and it's a consensus across the board is that they think that they should take down their whole catalog because it doesn't have no content to it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't want to put out a bunch of songs that don't mean anything to me. That I'm not gonna. You should feel the need to push your songs and say, "Hey, this is me. Look at it." The same thing I did with Skyway Leftovers. I love that song, but
Mm-hmm.
that's more recent. I sent that to you and a handful of people that I'm like, okay, let me get these people's opinions and see. I'm very,
A little bit of a focus group.
self-conscious. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very self-conscious about my music. You know what I mean? Like it's me. This is who I am. Here's my views on the world. Here's my emotions inside of it. Here it is. And for a long time I was very angry and like pissed off at the world and woe is me. I don't know why this keeps happening or why I went through this in life.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain it. So that's why a good majority of my music when I first started coming out was angry, and then it just
Right.
fit into the horror. I found horrorcore, and I was like, oh, there's a whole genre of people that are angry like me.
Yeah. That's, it's the
But then you
evolution of
find,
an artist, though. You
yeah,
know, our
you
music
find
sometimes
that,
it reflects how our life is in the moment, and then, if we get better and happier, our music might get a little. Look at it like just, I'll use like Eminem for an example, from the Slim Shady LP to what he, the stuff he puts out now, Recovery and, stuff like that.
yeah,
You know, Not that he still gets a little wild, right? And he'll trash talk and shit, but I mean, you could
yeah,
just, like I said, the evolution of an artist as we start out, or angry, young, a bit immature, and then we grow older and a little wiser, and
yeah,
my life might get
you
a little
know.
better, and
And
you know,
now I got kids. Now I got
yeah,
kids, and they want to be involved in the fucking shit,
yeah,
and they want to be involved in it. And I
yeah,
tried having the middle girl record on a song yesterday, and she was doing really good halfway through, and then it came to a line, and as a parent, like I have to sit down and be like, you're not supposed to say stuff like this, and then like
right,
sing the ad libs on this song, and I said, I'm too fresh for you dirty hoes anyway. And I played that for her. And she looked at me and I looked at her and I was like, you're just going to say anyway. And then the whole
yeah,
thing. Yeah. So it's that they're at the age where they're in choir and they're in band and they
uh-huh.
want to be involved in the whole thing. So it's cool for me.
Yeah.
Um, you
You were on
know,
the Red Rum Cipher too,
yep.
and yeah, and I had my daughter. She's on the in the hook, and then at the beginning of that song,
Yeah.
doing the Red Rum part. She's
It's
the little girl, singing that part. And she thought it was
well,
cool.
it adds in a whole nother element when you use those voices. Like I can't hit those notes that she can hit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But as a 10-year-old little girl in choir, like it's one of those things. But that's
right.
why I utilize other people. Like conclusion can sing. He's been singing for 20 years.
Yeah,
So why am I not going to be like, I need this enhanced over here. Please help
right.
me. You know what I mean? And that's just being open to other people's opinions and other people's abilities.
Yeah, using
You
your
know what I mean?
resources.
As I try to hone in my skills and get it to where I need to be. There's an amazing artist. His name is Big Looney. He's out of Colorado. He runs Chop Shit Down Records, and he chops, and he pronunciates every word, and he
Oh yeah,
sings every hook. He's locked up right now. Free Big Looney. He's
free Big
he's gonna
Looney.
get out
He's probably
sometime.
got a lot of shit written
Yeah, free
down.
Big Looney.
He's probably been doing a lot already.
Yeah, guarantee.
Yeah.
Guarantee. My homie Preacher out in Chicago, he was kind of given like that mantle of Chop Shit Down Records.
Mm-hmm.
So he's running with it. Big Looney's the Colorado chopper. He's the one with the wind. He's chopping is hard for a lot of people, and anybody can rap fast. You know what I mean? But if you're not saying anything, it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
if you're not pronunciating every syllable, and that's why chopping works so well for people because they can say it, but they're half the word isn't being pronounced. You're
Right.
mumbling halfway through, but it sounds dope. And I guess I don't know. So
That's anybody that I ever hear say they don't like rap music, that's why. It's because they're like, I can't even understand a word they're saying, right? Why do I want to listen to
yeah.
this? Yeah.
Well, my mom had the same issue. I grew up. She was an older lady. I'm adopted. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
when I found rap music, she hated it.
Yeah.
I can't understand anything they say in it. And I wanted to listen. I love this music so much, I wanted to figure out ways where I wasn't going to get my ass beat for listening to it.
Right.
So I would take the speakers or the CD player and do the whole thing, and I would hook it up, but I would just plug in the subwoofer, the part of the speaker that you get the bass from,
Yeah.
and it would separate and through. I don't know how the whole thing broke down, but throughout that, just connecting and plugging in different plugs to different ports, I found that specific part of the stereo would remove, and it would just play the bass and part of the instrumentals.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's how I started doing it, and then I would start writing my own fucking words to it.
Oh, damn.
And that's how I kind of
Analog
got
stem
into
splitting.
writing my own. Yeah, yeah. That's how I kind of got into it.
Yeah, dope.
But my older brother, he still had the record player. My older brother still had those wires where you would twist them, put them in the back, and then run them to the fucking speakers. And he mounted these big ass fucking speakers in the corners of the room. And he was deaf. He was fucking deaf. He fucking damaged his eardrum so fucking bad that he couldn't hear shit. But he was still rocking it, and he would turn these big house speakers up as loud as he fucking can in his fucking trailer. And then we'd go up to him and be like, "It's too fucking loud. You need to turn that down." And his response, "If it's too loud, you're fucking old."
Right.
So yeah, he had these two big ass house speakers and would just blow a fucking roof off the house with how loud he would keep it. And when you would complain about it, he'd say, "If you're too old, it's too loud, you're too old. That's why." And but you can't fucking hear me. You can't hear me. Now we finally, my older brother, he's in his 60s now, and we finally got him to wear fucking hearing aids. So, and even the hearing aids, he has them so loud. He's paranoid and shit. When he's on the phone, he can hear himself through the fucking the hearing aids, and they're turned all the way up, so he thinks people are spying on him through the fucking phone.
Oh shit!
He thinks every phone's tapped. There's apps in the stereos, and he said, I need you to reset my phone because I didn't download all these apps on my fucking phone, and it tells me that there's apps that need updated on the phone. I know that they're spying on us. The neighbors are spying on us. They got a special gun that they try to point at me through the back slider to give me a heart attack, and I'm not going to let them get me like that.
Oh wow!
I can hear the voices in the shed. I can hear the voices, and I followed the voices, and I found that they got the speakers and the microphones. I got you on. I got the speakers and the microphones in the shower drains, and we have to tear apart the whole shower to find where they're spying on me at. Hey, he's cool. He's solid.
Yeah,
he's solid. But
he's either paranoid, schizophrenic, or he's on meth.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Self-induced.
I have
self-induced schizophrenia.
Yeah, I have a really good friend who's the same way, and just thinks everybody's watching him, and be like camped out in the bushes outside his house, waiting for people.
Well, that's the best part about it is that he's got agoraphobia, so he can't go nowhere. So at least when I go and check on him, I know where he's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't talk to him on the phone because everybody's spying. He's one of those old school fucking dudes that think everybody give you a hug, pat you down, make sure you're not wearing a wire. It never stopped.
Yeah.
It never fucking stopped. So it's gotten worse in his old age. So that's the whole thing. But I got a question for you though.
Okay.
Since we're on the fucking subject, Mr. Mikey, you tell me how you got so fresh.
How I got so fresh.
We're on the Mikey Fresh podcast, banging in your stereo.
That's right.
So here we are.
So I guess my name Mikey Fresh I got from when we started. So when we started making music, it was me and Big T originally, and we would dig up old instrumentals, right, or just whatever we could get our hands on at the time. Because this is back in the late '90s and early 2000s, and I had this old Too Short cassette tape, right, that we would sit in my cruising around in my mom's old Ford Tempo back in the day, and there was one song on there, and it had like a couple minutes of an instrumental, and we would just sit there and rewind that tape back and back and back and freestyle on that, or and then in was it 2001 or 2, the Dr. Dre the Chronic 2001 album came out, and I ended up getting the album, but it was just the instrumental tracks only. And man, we rapped over that thing until the CD was broke. But anyways, so long story short, we ended up getting our first edition of FL Studios. It was like FL Studio 5 that we pirated off of it was LimeWire or BearShare or whatever, one of those peer-to-peer
Yeah.
uh,
I gave my computer plenty of viruses on LimeWire.
Yeah, right. And so, that's why I just started trying to make beats, right? And Hitman at the time, he wasn't doing anything. He was just hanging out with us, right? He was just kind of one of the boys that's smoking weed, and that's cool. You guys are fucking actually like making beats. Anyways, one day I was sitting there and I'm like, it's kind of like Big Timers or Manny Fresh. He's like, yeah, you're Manny Fresh. He's like, nah, man, you're Mikey Fresh. Yeah, and that was over 20 years ago, and that's how I ended up being Mikey Fresh. The beat was trash. I'm sure it was just a bunch of kick drums and a snare, and on the sequencer on FL Studios, because I didn't know how to do anything else except for click those little buttons, right? But yeah, that's how I got my name, and it just stuck. And so I've been Fresh ever since.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, actually, just a couple months ago, I actually finally applied for the trademark for the name. And so I'm going to own the rights to it. And so that'll be cool. That was something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's not cheap to do that.
Nope.
But if I'm gonna use the name and I want it to be something, I gotta have that trademark.
Yeah, I thought it was because you had one of those, the Freight Train exclusives powered by Sharp Records on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, these T-shirts are dope. I need to get another one. Yeah, so you made this logo. Freight Train made the logo. Let me get my chain out of the way.
I made the logo, and then I took it over to our shop
on camera here. There we go.
There you go. I made the logo, the design, and then we took it over to the print shop, and we got that knocked out, everything in house. So we do that.
Yeah.
So it's cool little thing, and then you can find old Mikey Fresh exclusive, merchandise over at DiamondSharpRecords.threadless.com.
That's right. Yeah, and everything's on sale right now until I believe the 11th of this month.
15%. Is that what you guys are doing over there?
It's their 13 T-shirts are now they're $13. They were 12. Like the cells have been like kind of overlapping each other, so now it was like $12. Now it's 13 for T-shirts, but it was kind of like their Black Friday deal and then like a Cyber Monday deal. So whatever they do, we don't typically set the prices. I mean, we set a price, and then when things go on sale, they'd put them on their sale price or whatever. But yeah, definitely buy some Mikey Fresh gear, and I'm still donating 50% of the Mikey Fresh sales to Home and Recovery Center. So if people want to help out there with people who have drug and alcohol addictions, man.
It's a great cause, you're helping people and make the community a little bit better and a little more safer for everybody. So we need everybody's help to kind of pull together and make this shit happen.
For sure. I know how that lifestyle goes, man, and getting into recovery and everything. It's a tough thing to do, and staying sober. And that's the only way we really stay sober is if we help each other out. And so I can't. I'm more than happy to do my part to help out people that are recovery programs and stuff like that, treatment centers, to help people change their lives. Because we're fucking dying out there every day. You see this fentanyl shit, and
my oldest brother, he was the oldest dinosaur out there walking around for a long time. Everybody else passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He had such a high tolerance for everything he was doing. But that was kind of what prompted me to like leave the area I was living in Tacoma. because I lived down the street from Lincoln Park. My brother would get high in that parking lot. I lived down the street from the Safeway that he would get his shit in, and he lived in that parking lot because his dealer lived across the street. You know what I mean? So it was one of those fucking things. My son was born, and I looked at him and looked at the environment that I was in, that I was comfortable with it. And like, I can't have my son walk to school in, that neighborhood. I can't have fucking done the fucking whole thing.
Right.
It's just one of those things prompted me to try to move on, and unfortunately, with that whole thing, me and my son's mom separated because of that decision. So she didn't want to go. She didn't want to move. She didn't want to do that. She was comfortable with it. And I wanted something better, and she just wasn't about it. And eventually we separated because of our differences.
Yeah.
That's the give and take with it. So
right. That happens, as long as you guys can co-parent with each other and do what's best for your kid.
Yeah.
Kids. How many kids you got? You got one, two?
I got one, and then the gal that I'm with, she has three.
Okay.
So it's one of those things. A lot of that step parent thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's working out. I'm trying to make them grow up. I don't care what they do, as long as they don't end up being assholes.
Right.
Want to be a piece of shit. I told him the other day, I said, I'm not going to watch you fail, but if you want to succeed, I will be there every time.
Yeah. Just some, some love and support.
Yep.
For sure. Try to lead by example.
You can only beat them so much. They want to listen after that. That's your problem. But yeah.
So, man. Talked about my fresh gear. Where are we getting yours? Where are we picking your gear up?
You can get my merchandise from one of our good friends, O Dreamer. He runs OHD Presents. Okay. It's an amazing, artist development, branding situation where he sits down and gives you a consultation, and then you develop a whole merch line behind it. And that includes hats, beanies, shirts, pants, everything across the board. You can get a cardigan if you want. With the whole thing, and then he features you on his website, ohdpresents.com. And through that, he includes, your photo, your bio, all the information from you as an artist, what you're working on, what you released, and the whole thing. Yeah. So it's a really in-depth process. Then he sits down with you and says, okay, we're going to do this merchandise line for you. You got that endorsement through that. What do you want to see? What kind of ideas you got? And he kind of fleshes it out. And then he, you receive a portion from those sales as an artist. And, as an artist that's trying to get a name going or get some kind of funding going, that's a decent option for somebody that doesn't have that much funds for something.
Yeah.
If you sell 20 t-shirts, you can afford a new microphone. You know what I mean?
Right. And you don't have to have a warehouse in your backyard to.
No, he takes care of all that through the system that he's got set up, everything. Yeah. He sits down, spends hours working on the shirts. He sends you promos so you can advertise the whole thing. And then at any point if there's a handful of artists that are involved in that one, Shadowwing, she's a drummer. Nevik, he's an amazing artist. O Dreamer himself. There's a handful of other people that are involved in it, all amazing artists. When they do a drop through OHD, nothing else overshadows that. And then all the other artists that are involved in that, they promote those flyers as well. So it's a lot of camaraderie or a lot of like mixed stuff with it. You get it going around. And then through OHD, there's also an option for you to, he's got a couple of producers that are involved in it, and you can get your instrumentals. Basically, it's a one-stop shop for artist-wise. It's not a label. You know what I mean? It's a clothing brand. He has options for everything you need for artist-wise.
Nice.
I can go to ohdpresents.com. I can buy my instrumentals. I can do the whole thing. And shy of recording myself, but they offer, I believe, and now I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that they offer recording sessions through Rare Odd, which is their label that Nevik and O Dreamer signed to. So they got a decent going on. I also have you can find some of my merchandise on the bluecleftmusic.com website. And that includes, you can find my music on that website. You can find Conclusions music, Get the Chef's music, Mafia at 206.
Are they up now? Is their website up now?
It is. It's live. It's been live for about a week or so. Everything. It's building.
He told me they were just about to get it launched when I talked to him when we had him on the podcast. Yeah.
So the website's launched. You can go there, bluecleftmusic.com.
Okay.
It's got everything you need to find for Conclusion and everybody else. The music videos are up there. Everything you need, you find out, learn about the artists and about what their views and everything else involved. There's a section where, they offer the in-house services, the merchandising, the mixing and mastering, the recording sessions if you need those services as well, if you can't record yourself. And then they also offer consultations on your brand and your artistry and what you need to do. Everybody that's involved in the production aspect has, AA and music theory and beat production and everything else. So it's very accomplished people trying to get everything going. You got to make a dream happen.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and then a lot of what you see me wearing is, my homie Setsu's clothing brand, Random Idiot Clothing, because we're all a random idiot to somebody.
Oh, that's a sick name.
He's super creative. He sells a lot of his stuff off of South Tacoma Way. Super creative dude, super solid from Atlanta. He went through a lot of stuff in his life. Now he's back out in the free world, just making clothes, making it happen. He's got a mascot that's a hyena with a face tattoo called Party Animal.
Mm-hmm.
And the Party Animal's missing right now. If you find him, there's a reward of 6 hoodies and an 8-ball for you. So you can find him either on Aurora Avenue in Seattle or South Tacoma Way in Tacoma. He's always either at one of those spots. We got to find him soon because last time he came back to the house with Prince Albert.
Yeah.
So,
shit.
It's just one of those things. So we're looking for Party Animal right now and trying to get it all squared away.
Yeah.
So
look for Party Animal, y'all.
Yeah. If you find them, there's a reward. So let's make that happen. We can make your day a little warmer and your day a little brighter.
Yeah.
So.
And if you get that reward and it's too much for you, you can go to Home and Recovery Center.
Send you a whole circle. Everybody working together.
Yeah.
Community helping community.
That's right.
So that's the whole thing.
Yeah. That's awesome. Hey, check the description down below, guys. I'll put those links in there for you. Before we go, so your song First 48, I know there's there's quite the story behind that one. I wanted to try to get that story from you before we go.
Okay. So First 48, that was a collaborative effort. I had gotten an opportunity to do a song with Bones Dub from Axe Murder Boys. It's a very prominent group from Colorado. And he, we ended up doing 2 songs together, Like Dracula, which is on, Edge of Death as well. He did me a hook and he did a verse for First 48. And, I just, at one point I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I didn't know. I just fit a description. They picked me up and sat me in a room and gave me the 3rd degree, showed me a bunch of photos from various spots. And they were like, you tell me anything about this? You recognize these people? And I was like, I legitimately at that time didn't know anything about going on. I didn't know anything that happened. It wasn't even, you know what I mean? So and I stuck to that, and so they didn't have anything. I fit a description,
Right.
I wasn't telling what they wanted to know. So eventually they had to let me go. They let me go, and we wrote a song about it, and I just gave my description on what they were trying to get me to admit to and what they were trying to show me in the fucking thing without giving too much details about the whole situation. And then, I was working with Hex Rated, which is, you know, a pretty prominent artist in Colorado now. He's running a vehicle tint company called All Around Tints now. He's retired from hip hop. So he's doing that, but before he retired, he still does graphic music. He still produces beats. Still does graphic artists if you need it, Hex Rated. He did the hook for me while we were doing our little back and forth and working together. And we were originally going to do a video for that song, and it didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's where the lyric video came from. You know,
so
we did that, and that's
what were the charges they were trying to bring you up on? Can you tell us that one, or is it still pending?
To get me on it. No, it's done and dealt with. You know, they were trying to get me on attempted murder and manslaughter.
Oh, damn,
a couple of those, and then it didn't help. You know, they were like, "Oh, what's all this about? We know who you are. What's all this about? Horrorcore, fucking da da da." Right. I've had to explain to 3 separate judges what horrorcore was, and why I would make the kind of music I was, you know, and I've been in court a couple to, you know, 3 separate times talking about it. Like, and I got to explain to super Christian, upstanding members of society why, and they'll play it too. They played it too. My song Deep Woods was one of the songs they played. I got a song with Scum from LSP called Toxic Love, you know, and that one exactly what it sounds like. It's about abusive relationships and, you know, that toxic traits that we have with our partners.
Right.
And they played that one, and they just kept trying to push the agenda. And then when me and my son's mom separated, they did the same thing. You know, so I've had to explain to 3 different judges why I would make this music. And the second, I'm like, I got paid to do that. Yeah. Toward the 3rd time, I was just tired of talking about it. So I was like, I got paid to do that. I was on tour. That's where I met her. She met me at the hotel.
Right.
That's how the game goes. So it's one of those big back and forths with it. I love this music, but it's the same thing. It's what we put out in the world is what we're perceived as.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And meanwhile, you're trying to explain your innocence, and then you got the video for Deep Woods.
I love that. So that video, we shot so much. I brought my homegirl with us. We filmed first. We drove around town, and we found a fucking like abandoned building that was falling over, and like this abandoned fucking field behind it that they had been digging with excavators and shit. Yeah. So it just played in the whole thing, and we filmed a whole bunch of extra shit that didn't actually get in the fucking video. So we had hella shots of me carrying this broad on my shoulder. Yeah. And like after we were done, I was so sore by the end of the day because I'm walking uphill with like 160 extra pounds on my shoulders. So we did that, and then like we kind of, my boy, you know, Mr. Two Focus, he shot the video. And we shot a bunch of other videos. I was in this mode where we were going to shoot content for every video or every song that came out, and we just never finished. Yeah, we never got all the shit shot. But Deep Woods, we had shot a scene where I actually dropped her in the hood into the hole, and you can see that in the video. And then there was another one where we kind of angled the camera, and I dumped hella gasoline in the hole, like pouring it, and then I set it on fire, threw it on, and a big old explosion from the fucking gasoline, you know, and then you see that on the camera, just boom, doing it. But the guy that edited it didn't include a good majority of like that. I suffered for no reason. So that was the whole thing with Deep Woods, you know. That Deep Woods was an older song that I had reworked multiple times with it. The original version has Big T on the hook, and then my cousin Katie the Stranger over in the Ukraine, he did a hook for it, you know.
Oh yeah.
And me and him's got a lot of songs together, but like half the fan base that I have don't speak Russian,
right?
So it doesn't work out, you know. But you know, I got decent players. They love me over in Europe.
Yeah,
they think I'm amazing over there. I got a song that's coming out on Young Bleed's next album. He's got me featured on there. He just passed away. He was part of the No Limit Records. They just did the versus battle with Cash Money. He had a heart aneurysm, so he passed away not too long ago.
Oh shit.
And we had talked to me. We had talked about doing a lot of music prior to that. He had reached out to me through some mutual people and said, "Okay, I like your music. You're dope. Da, 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 da. We should do something." And then I had missed the opportunity to be featured on one of his albums previously. And then when he reached out to me again, it kind of fed into that option where he wanted me on this project. And then I got the instrumental, and it already had his hook and everything ready to go. And then he passed away. Mm. So we didn't get to do all the extra stuff that we were supposed to do that we talked about. And right. I'm blessed enough to be featured on that album. I'm waiting for the final mix to come back so I can hear it. But his whole album is recorded. His whole album is ready to go. You know what I mean? So there's a couple songs need to be finished mixing, so that should be coming out at sometime soon. So I'm blessed enough to be on his album. Rest in peace to Big Homie. Mm-hmm. So we're doing that, and then besides all that, I'm working pretty in depth with this like horror. I call it the horrorcore Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
But it's the League of Extraordinary Villains.
All right.
It's just a massive collective of like 13 artists. O Dreamer, West Coast Willis, Rook Music, Deranged, and Il Nickel from New Mexico. A West Side Story. He's over in, I think, New York. Archaic the Devil, myself. Raz the Psycho. I think he's down in Pennsylvania. Legion 6 in fucking in Spokane. Death Maw and West Coast Willis. This is the first project that they've been on. They just decided to do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So they're getting into it. So it's an introduction between people that are very established artists that are doing shows, doing tours, that have been doing music for 20 years. Then you got the mix of the newer talent that doesn't have as much experience, and then you got Nevik. Nevik is a very prominent artist in Washington.
He's been being featured on KSW.
Yeah, he's on the radio. Yeah. He's all over the place. Almost every major show that I've been seeing, he's on it, involved, and his promotion and his whole gimmick with everything that he's doing is just phenomenal. I tell him that all the time. The Patient Zero, the Asylum, everything across the board. He's got it so down packed. He's put a lot of thought and everything into it. And then Des Luca the Cannibal, which is the main dude, the chairman of the league.
Right.
And he's been right there. He's been doing it for ever. Des Luca put me on my first show. He's him and a couple other people, my homie Spade. They're the reason for Freight Train. You know what I mean? They're the ones that gave Freight Train the opportunity to be involved and get out to the shows. I don't know. I didn't know nothing. And these people kind of, I found the opportunity, reached out to them, and they kind of went through it. I grew up with Spade. I was friends with his younger brother, and he said, "Oh, my brother raps." So he gave me a CD, and I was like, "This guy's dope."
You're right.
He ran Hood Known Records, and I had reached out to him and was like, "I want to be part. I want to rap. I want to do this whole thing. I want to be involved in what you're doing." And he's like, "Okay, send me something." I was like, "I don't got nothing recorded, but I will." I will, and then Hood Known Records ran for a long time, and it's not around anymore. It's around, but it's not the same guys. And then through Spade, that's how I met Conclusion. That's how I got involved with Blue Clef Music.
Nice.
Definition Infinity is the parent company for everything. There's several brands underneath it. Hemp House Records, Blue Clef Music, a couple clothing brands, a production company, just the whole thing across the board. They're doing stuff right now with, Cantana Fest and it's everything across the board. So they're doing really, really well for each other, and I'm very blessed to be involved in what they're doing.
Yeah,
You know,
for
even
sure.
even if what I'm doing is a lot of behind the scenes shit, you know.
Still, yeah. That's what makes it run. You know, it's not just the recording artist, right? You got your
Yeah.
producers, you got your guys, you know, the promoters, you know, there's a lot of works that goes on behind the scenes of music, you
Oh yeah,
know,
you make
it
it,
people don't know about.
you make it happen. It's a crazy,
Yeah.
crazy thing, you know. So the League of Villains, you know, is the main focus right now outside of, you know, Casket Sharp and Blue Clef Music, making those happen as well, you know. But within the mix, I'm trying to focus on this League of Villains project.
Hmm.
There's a video which we put out, which is a big ass cipher with everybody did their verse, and you can tell when you listen to it who's been doing it for a while and who's kind of getting their feet wet.
Yeah.
So it's a good mix of guys, you know. I like Deranged. I like Ill Nickel shit. I think that they're pretty prominent within the, you know, what they're doing down south. Um, you know, I'm biased. There's Luca Archaic, been around forever, and then you know Nevik and Oh Dreamers right there. Rook Music, he's doing pretty decent numbers right now. So we're doing that. The first album that we're working on is 13 tracks with 13 members.
Nice.
So that's the big push for it. It's going to be a massive overtaking because there's so many people involved in it, but it's just you're just getting it done and getting it going. So we're about halfway through the recording process of all those guys. A good majority of those guys does Luca record. So it's finding the time to get everybody in and getting schedules lined up and getting it to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So
the Wu-Tang of horrorcore, League of Extraordinary Villains.
Yep.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I remember when you guys first started that thing and you just shot me that name, you know, I was like, that's fucking a sick name for a group. Yeah, for sure.
Just a massive amount of fucking people.
Yeah.
Can you
and if you go and look at any of their music videos and stuff, you'll know why that's the name. Is they're wild.
It's fucking just off the wall shit.
Off
And
the wall,
it's the
yeah.
same thing.
But
Everybody's
it's good though.
Yeah, everybody's so spread out
Yeah.
with it, and it's the same issue that we talked about with you wishing people were closer. If we go do a show, and I remember early in my career, I would watch these people. I saw 30 Samoans on stage jumping around, shaking the stage.
Oh damn.
You know, so you do the whole thing, you know. So you got all those people on stage and only a couple of them rapping. So we got to orchestrate some stuff to get all 13 members in the same place to perform all the songs. But a good majority, I don't want it just a bunch of like 10 people standing around while 3 people are rapping.
Yeah.
So we got some process to go through and getting everything organized physically. But you know, we got the album that's coming. We shot the video. We're gonna shoot a couple more videos for it, you know. So it's a big old, you know, everybody's putting it together. Everybody's really putting in work with that whole thing. So outside of, you know, my album Casket Sharp that I'm working on and the work I'm doing with Blue Clef Music and everything else, you know, the League of Extraordinary Villains is at the top of my list.
Nice.
So
hell yeah. Yeah, you're a busy guy, man.
I got
you. Looks like we got a couple minutes left here. How about you've given a lot of shout outs. Any more shout outs you want to just give out shout outs? And then platforms, you got platform, you know, Spotify, all that stuff, right? Websites.
All my music's on Spotify and all the online distribution centers.
YouTube.
We had kind of issues with, so you can find those on like iHeart Music and all the other ones. Spotify don't fuck with it, but it is what it is. You know, and then I just, you know, I deal with a lot of talented people, so I want to make sure that they get their shine time. And you know, you think I'm dope, look at this guy over here, he's got something going on too. And that's kind of where it goes with it, you know. And then we're working all together to make everything happen, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's not just me. It'd be a lot easier and a lot less stressful if it was just me. But then I want to get the opinions. I want to get, you know, the motivation to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of come where it was. I want to see everybody shine the same way I know I can.
I feel you, man. So, that's my goal, is for everybody to prosper, right? and synergy, right, with everybody working together, and we all rise up, lift each other, lift each other up.
That's what it is. When you take egos out of the mix,
Mm-hmm.
and you're open to that communication, and you're willing to accept what other people around you are saying. You might not agree 100% with what they got to say, but if you can pull something out of what they're saying, then you're going to succeed. I'm a firm believer that everybody that you meet is either here to teach you something or you to learn from them.
Yeah.
And you might not realize it today, but 2 years down the road, I'm going to be like, Mikey Fresh really said something.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You can take what you want and leave the rest, right? I mean, you can definitely meet somebody and learn how to do something, and you can learn how not to do something. Right? Yeah. Be like,
sure.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I appreciate it. I enjoy working with you for sure. Definitely looking forward to future projects.
Absolutely. One of my favorite songs that I did, was, Hip Hop Gorillas with,
Oh yeah, Hip Hop
Mikey.
Gorillas. Yeah. Yeah, that song got some traction. Both versions. Yeah, I have the edition, the edition with you, Mikey Fresh and Freight Train McConnell, Hip Hop Gorillas, and then I have Hip Hop Gorillas remix with Toxic Leaf too. Both those songs are hella dope. Fun beat.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you featuring on that one.
Absolutely. So we definitely need to get another one going.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to get some beats together for you for the League of Extraordinary Villains too.
Yeah, we'll get something going.
See how dark I can get
processed with it. Regardless of whatever you send me is gonna end up getting used. That's just I got books and books and books and cell phones and tablets and laptops filled with just my non-consensual writings.
Yeah. I sent you that, dude. You sent me that. What was that? I can't remember the band, the group. Is that Cholo hip hop beat? Yeah. I sent you that beat I made for you. I hope you have fun with that one too.
I think that's cool.
Got the horns and the tuba and the shit. I was just like, you're like, can you make me a beat that's like this? I'm like, all right, man, good. You're pushing my limitations. That was cool.
All that touches bases on. I listen to a lot of music from all around the world.
Yeah.
One of my favorite artists, his name's G. He's from Mongolia. I got a Mongolian homie that showed me that fucking 10, 20 years ago.
Nice.
And I've been loving this shit. I don't have no idea what he's saying. I just know he's dope.
It was a cool video.
So
cool.
I listen to a lot of songs that are in Spanish. I listen to a lot of songs that are Russian and Korean and Mongolian.
Yeah.
I got a song called International Grind, and that features Ukrainian, Russian, courtesy of fucking Katie the Stranger, and then MMG. MMG is one of the originators of Ukrainian hip hop, so he's on there. M-Dub Mexi from Tacoma, he does Spanish on there. My boy JNX,
nice.
He did an intro in Korean. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's 5 languages there. I thought about reaching out to a couple people down in Australia. And even that, the original concept, I had gotten a verse from Mercules, and he was going to be the main Canadian fucking artist for that one. And then he switched labels, and I couldn't get clearance from the new label to fucking put that out. So
he's on a big label now, isn't he?
He signed with Death Row.
Yeah, let's say if we want to put that one out there. Yeah, he signed with Death Row.
So
Mercury's dope. Yeah.
So I've worked with a lot of big names. I've worked with a lot of people throughout my career. So it's cool across the board, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on the Real Mikey Fresh podcast. Freight Train McConnell, y'all. I'll put all the links in the description down below. I'm
just happy to be here, man.
Yeah, man.
That's why I showed up.
Yeah. Cool dude, good friend. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you too. Okay, you be safe. I'll talk to you later.
Peace out. Thanks, everybody.
No problem.